Well guys, guess what? It has happened. Sony is officially suing Tencent for allegedly what? Ripping off Horizon games. That's right. Here we have on the left side Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we have the Chinese knockoff ripoff, which is Light of Motiram, which as you guys can see, I mean, it's pretty damn obvious. The ripoff is just at an insane level. Sony says Tencent's Light of Motiram features identical gameplay. Well, I'm not sure identical, but it's very, very close. Story themes and artistic elements to Horizon, as well as many other similarities. Here we have another one. Sony is suing Tencent over Light of Motiram, which is called a slavish clone of its Horizon game. Says it twice rejected Tencent's request to license Horizon. So Tencent wanted to license Horizon from Sony, obviously to publish their own game under the Sony license to make money. Sony said no. So Tencent said, watch, you know what, we're gonna make our own Horizon game. Yeah, there we go, right? Speculates that Motiram Studio may secretly be the studio Tencent pitch for the collab. That's crazy. So effectively, I mean, if this is the case, obviously we don't know 100% for sure, but just imagine for a second. So Tencent went to Sony's head office. They said, look, we want to make a online multiplayer survival game, right? Which is based on your game, right? We're going to make the game. We're going to license it. You're going to get obviously some of the profit. Sony said, no, we don't want to do this. No, we don't want that. No, 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 we don't want to do this. No, sorry. And then guess what? Tencent said, well, if you don't have it my way, I'm gonna get my way anyway, right? And now the lawsuit has started. Yeah, it's crazy. When it was first announced in 2024, and it was immediately obvious to many that Motiram looked like a flat-out copy-paste job. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at this, man. This is crazy. This is just crazy. The designs, everything. You have this article here as well. Now, of course, as you can imagine, Sony was preparing their case. So as soon as the game was announced, Sony didn't just go in, obviously, you know, take them to court straight away, because they were gathering the evidence, they were preparing their lawyers for the case. I mean, these things take time, as you can imagine, right? So Sony was quietly in the background, you know, making sure that they have everything on file, that they're ready to fight them in the court, because they know that Tencent is a massive, huge company. I believe Tencent is almost, obviously not as big as Sony, but it's very, very big company. Tencent is huge in China. So you can imagine that, you know, Sony is not happy about this whatsoever. But what can you do? I mean, this is what happens when, you know, game companies like Tencent, they get really greedy. They want to make their own games, right? And make a profit from it. And yeah, the best way for them is to copy Western ideas or Japanese ideas in this instance, right? And then effectively, you know, just say, well, you know what, we're going to just make a copy paste, right? Which is crazy. But yeah, this is what we have right now. I mean, it's crazy, man. Look at this. Says that Sony said that the video game journalists have characterized Light of Motiram as a knockoff of Horizon, including one who called the game Horizon Zero Originality. Sony asked the court for a unspecified amount of monetary damages and an order blocking Tencent from violating its intellectual property rights. So they want to get paid off. That's the first one. And then they want Tencent to block the game. So not just they want the money, they want a bunch of money because of this, and they want to block the game as well. The case is Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC versus Tencent Holdings Ltd, U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. That is crazy, man. Let the show begin. I mean, bring your popcorn, man, because this is crazy. It's gonna be a wild ride. I mean, I'm curious to see like what Tencent is doing, because you know they will defend themselves. This is the article from Reuters. I mean, just imagine for a second, right? I mean, Tencent knew this was gonna happen, right? They're not stupid. Like, they knew for a fact the moment they published a trailer for this game, they would know that, yeah, you know, Sony's gonna come off after them. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, why would you not? Because you have all the reason to do that. I mean, the game looks like a copy and paste. I'm very sorry, but that's the case. It just looks such a copy and paste. It's same as, for example, let's say China would just suddenly do a copy knockoff of The Last of Us, right? And yeah, make a very similar gameplay, like a world and characters and stuff. And of course Sony will be angry, right? So for this one, because it has more scope, because it's a, you know, open world kind of exploration, crafting and stuff like that, they went with this one. Nonetheless, guys, it is what it is. I am not surprised. I am surprised that Tencent kind of went ahead with it. Like, look at this. This is crazy. These are the enemies, for example, the Horizon franchise, and then the Light of Motiram promotional material. I mean, look at that, man. I mean, that is like, wow. It's just like crazy, right? But remember, right, I mean, we have the same problem with a Power World, right? And effectively in the end, Nintendo did sue Power World, but they only sued Power World from some of the mechanics, like some of the patents that Nintendo had, and they wanted Power World to remove some of those mechanics, like the ball, throwing the ball and capturing the a PAL, right, in the game. So that was effectively scraped because Nintendo said that that is their patent, their product, and only they're allowed to have a ball which you throw at a Pokemon or a PAL in this case, right, and then use it or capture it, which is just crazy from my point of view. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. It is wild. Let me know what I think in the comments. I am pretty sure that you know, Sony is doing the right thing. I mean, Sony is doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is defending their IP, obviously. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, you just have to understand, like, you know, if you were like Sony, for example, and a company like a Chinese company comes in and then, you know, just releases a game which is a copy and paste knockoff of your ideas, of which you spent, you know, lots of millions of dollars, you know, creating the idea, the IP, the stuff, and then just different company comes in and they say, well, we're gonna just copy and paste the concept and then just make an open world crafting action game. There we go. Happy days, right? Of course, as Sony, or if you are in Sony's shoes, you will be very angry, as in extremely angry, as you can imagine, right? So guys, that's it for today's video on this one. Crazy stuff, man. I cannot believe it that, you know, Tencent is even like, I mean, what are they going to do? Like, are they actually going to go ahead with this? Are they going to still try to release the game? Is Tencent going to fight vigorously against Sony in the court, where I'm not sure if they have any leg to stand on, because the copy and paste here is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, guys. Anyway, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.